SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So I think they're not meeting the objectives of the workshop there. One of the objectives that I had in mind was unsettle you in your sleep. Right? So get you introduced to certain things that are going on, which will not make you comfortable. Yeah? And will affect your sleep at least for one night. Yeah? Only his sleep got affected. Any particular connection to the sessions?
Future plannings.
Future plans. Okay. But are you generally comfortable with whatever we covered yesterday? Yeah. Anything you found new? Or this was something that all of you really knew? Anything novel in whatever was covered yesterday that you were not aware of, even whatever you are doing right now or whatever training you have gone through till now? Okay, so we looked at technology yesterday, right? We looked at technology, we looked at design, and we looked at questions of inclusion largely from the perspective of gender. Right? So let's step back and try to understand what do you mean by technology? What is technology? What comes to your mind when this term is uttered? Bangalore is a dash technology cluster. High technology cluster, low technology cluster. No, these are the two options. Silicon Valley is a dash technology cluster. Why?
Because the clusters are generally technically adept. Clusters meaning clusters of people.
Yeah. Place.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess Bangalore started out being low tech.
Okay.
I hear it was supposed to be the pensioners' paradise. Become pensioners' hell for the tech.
So when it was a pensioners' paradise, it was low tech.
It was, yeah.
Now it's pensioners' hell when it has become high tech.
Yeah. So high and low.
So what does it do to the abilities of the pensioners in terms of technology, the definitions that you were talking about? It's definitely not progress.
Okay.
Yeah, at least hell in this paradise and hell. Assuming paradise is better than hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and if it is from low to high, if it has led to Bangalore becoming a hell, that's probably not progress.
In some definitions.
Okay. So let's see. Silicon Valley, Bangalore. There is a nearby district called Tumkur. Yeah? And within Tumkur, there is a taluk called Srinivasapura. Yeah? So in terms of high, low, how will you rate them? So if it is high, Silicon Valley, then Bangalore, then maybe Tumkur, then Srinivasapura. And what will you use to rate them on this spectrum, high, low?
People in Silicon Valley are maybe at the higher pedestal technically, what we are seeing at high technical. They are more reliable on technical gadgets, not on their own ability. When you go towards rural areas, people are more reliable on their own abilities than dependent on the technical gadgets. You can say that.
I'd like to contradict you and say that doesn't it depend on what type of technology we're talking about? Because we're comparing it's like bananas with oranges, something like that.
Yes.
The type of technology we use in the Silicon Valley is very different from what is used in the village.
Okay.
In village, a technology might be an innovative irrigation project that they build on themselves. or water harvest station or a type of seed that they still use in the down season and some other seed they're using in the winter season. That is also technology.
Right.
So we cannot compare this.
We cannot compare.
We cannot
It has been told that this is a low-tech place. That's what we assume, that Silicon Valley, it was the...
I have not told anything.
But the group assumed that the Silicon Valley is a high-tech city and Srinivasapuram is a, let's say, low-tech place.
So if we have to look, so therefore,
Let's leave the nouns. There's a high-tech place and there's a low-tech place. Simple distinction would be people in a high-tech place are more dependent on the technology-based things, and people in a low-tech place are less dependent on it.
so if we are more dependent on technology, we are high tech. Or the technology that we are dependent on is high tech.
The place is high-tech.
Place is high tech. So when we are looking at technology policies, we go to Silicon Valley and not to Srinivasapuram.
If we consider a project as he has pointed out, a project, we'll have to find out if there is a feasible project. We can obviously go to Srinivasapuram as well, because maybe there may not be a revenue of agri-based. There may not be. I'm not saying that you must deny that there cannot be. There may not be a revenue of an agri-based project in Silicon Valley, but there can be a.
So we generally, do we agree that this high tech, low tech could be problematic without more information? What is high, what is low could be problematic unless we know more about how we are defining high and how we are defining low. But in general, in popular perception, through mainstream media, we have come to associate through this politics of discourse, we have come to associate Silicon Valley and Google and Microsoft as high tech, right? Srinivasapuram and Tumkur and Bangalore in that order as low tech, right? And therefore, given that high is better than low, right? High is better than low in the value that is attached to the benefits of technology or progress, the notion of progress that comes with technology. We would want to go from low to high, right? And therefore, all these issues, right? So, high-low values are dependent on context. They are not universal claims. Yeah. Similarly, there could be technologies, other values, good, bad. This is good technology. This is bad technology. Yeah. Difficult, problematic, unless you know more about the parameters that are being adopted to define what is good, what is bad, and within that, we'll have all these dimensions of gender, we'll have dimensions of people who have a particular kind of physical ability, we'll have aspects of income, all that, right? So is it okay to say that technology cannot be neutral? No technology is neutral, is a claim that I am making. Are you fine with that, or you would want to contradict me? Okay, please go ahead.
So because technology cannot be biased, the people who are implementing, they may be biased.
Okay, so technology cannot be biased.
Technology itself cannot be biased. A computer program will never go against what you have programmed.
And who are you?
As a programmer,
Can you be biased?
yes, I can.
So what goes into that technology?
Biasness induced by the person, but the machines or the technology by themselves are not biased.
What is by themselves? Can you detach technology from the people who are associated with that technology?
This my definition of technology very quickly was technology is something that extends your abilities. And then you can associate with that. Whatever you can do,
Let's just stay on that. Yeah. You're saying your ability. Yeah. You are able to see, yeah. And therefore the extension of your ability will assume that someone will be able to see. Yeah. Maybe Ajay is not able to see the same way as you are. Yeah. So in that sense, it's your construction. That may not be applicable for you. So are your biases of who people are and what their abilities are coming into designing what the technology that you want?
that's the point I'm making. My bias is getting to the design phase.
Okay. So is that bias, does that bias not get coded into technology? So then why are we saying technology cannot be political or technology can be neutral?
Let me try and give you an example of a
Yes.
complicated thing. Let's take a camera. Right? Camera is a technology for film. For Aziz, it's just a thing from the standpoint of the camera. So we can question the motives of the inventor of the camera. Was he deliberately or subconsciously trying to be not neutral in creating the camera? Because Aziz is not neutral.
Whether he had Aziz in mind, I don't know, but he was not neutral. What I'm trying to say is technology production is not a neutral process. And therefore technology cannot be neutral. Because technology production involves people, people cannot be neutral. So another assumption I'm making, people cannot be neutral.
You can say that technology can be used differently from one person to another. One person uses different. Okay. One person does not know to use the technology.
Right. Technology in a proper way.
Yeah. How to use it? Say for example, you put a camera and thing. So camera has a lot of features. Only some people know there's a lot of art of putting the camera in different. I mean, some people doesn't know the features the writing is. Right. The usability changes. So if I take a photograph. So for me, the vision how to capture a photograph is completely different. The input to layman. Layman just hits a button. So he doesn't use the different features within it.
So it's the user who is at fault, and if he or she is not using it the way the designers wanted him to, him or her to.
But you are not replacing the maximum. Any tool of technology. So if you are using it to maximum extent, then you can enjoy your work.
Okay, so this is another dimension that you're bringing. You're saying that one, you agree with him that, or maybe you agree that technology can be neutral, and its use is what leads different people to say do different things with technology.
But then aren't you excluding a certain section of the society?
We will just come back to this.
The very act that the user created for it to be meant to be used in a certain way always creates a inequality in terms of the other section. Like ma'am explained yesterday that we create a technology, the very act that it's in English language means that a Bihari person in that lingual cannot use it unless you use the technology to that particular language. So there's nothing implicit about the technology that is always associated.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that in this kind of a user-driven, if we say, then everybody will have the claim that okay, I designed it for a certain section of the people, other people do not have access to it, so what is my problem with it? In this way, we will have multiple technology being created for small gamuts of people. But coming to some kind of solving social problem, these are devices will never work. It might be that you can afford sort of like an iPhone. Somebody is going for an Android, that's fine. But if technology has to be inclusive at a broad base, it has to take care of that everybody can use it.
So I basically feel because of technology is bad.
Hold on. So we will not talk of, we're not going to a lot of terms. One, neutral is what we'll talk of. The other that you just introduced is this notion of tool. So technology as a neutral tool is what I'm trying to contest. Right? I'm contesting the neutrality of technology, and now I'm also contesting the tool nature of technology. So when you say it's a tool, that means people or those who are using that tool, it depends on their abilities and their capacities and how they use it. It does not provide or it does not ascribe any agency to the technology. Yeah? What I'm trying to say is technology cannot be a neutral tool. Technology is a political actor. Right? Technology is not a neutral tool. Technology is a political actor. The difference between tool and actor is actor has agency. Yeah? So it will make users do things in a particular way. If it is a tool, it will not make users do things in a particular way. The users will have their agency to use it in ways they would want to, right? So this tool actor perspective is something that I'm trying to question, and I'm also trying to question the neutrality and political nature of technology. Yeah? So from technology as a neutral tool, I'm trying to make a claim that technology is a political act.
Nisha's presentation yesterday, I get it to the point when she highlighted that whenever we're doing something for a particular group, particular community, particular section, then unintentionally the other group or the other community is left out. So this is though unintentional, but it is inevitable. We are designing something for a particular group based on their needs. So obviously we are not taking care of the needs of the other groups.
So it's perfectly fine. I'm not saying it should be universal. I'm not trying to say technology should be universal because I don't feel that technology can be neutral. Something can be universal only when it is neutral. But technology, I don't think it can be neutral, and therefore it will have a political nature.
It cannot be neutral for sure because the first thing before designing that, people with a business background can associate with what I'm saying. Project as a life cycle and design phase comes after requirement analysis. Requirement analysis is done only to find out what is the need to which this product will cater to. The need it has an audience. Yeah, it has to address the needs of a particular audience. So it can't be universal. And if we say that something that is not universal is not neutral, then it is.
So it has a particular group of people in mind. So when you're designing anything, you have some audience in mind, you have some target segment in mind, for which you will be designing. So that is a political exercise, is it not?
Why can't we just do let's say one concept that is probably designed to make things better, efficient. It can be into other purposes, but it is not intended by design. Is this life as a technology isn't it for
No. Why is it for someone who does not have hands? Assuming that your knife requires you to have a hand.
are we making perfect?
We are not. So I am not at all uncomfortable with the notion of not everyone being able to use technology. And that is what I am trying to highlight. That it has a political nature inherent. So when you say that, and this fascination that will make a technology which will be applicable universally and in the same degree is a fallacy. Yeah? So when we say that everyone should have high-speed broadband connection, we are probably not we don't understand why should we need or why is it that people won't need that high-speed broadband connection. Yeah? The assumption that goes in is high-speed broadband connection is good for say public services or delivery of public services. Yeah? Now, broadband and high-speed broadband probably has not been designed with with this kind of use and this category of users in mind. And we need to be at least aware of that before designing high speed or before designing a project which incorporates high speed broadband into delivery of public services. Yeah. So while I'm not saying that knife cannot be used in say certain uh, uh, in trying to improve how we do certain things, we need to be aware that knife in a particular type of knife has been constructed or given the features that it has been constructed for this group of people in mind. Or this group of people will be better able to leverage that knife to go about doing their duties in the field. Right? And there may be a need, therefore, to augment that knife with something else or remove something from that knife if we want it to be put to some other purpose. Right? So a high speed, so the internet, for example, in its current form, if we want it to reach all our villages and it to lead to people becoming more aware of what is going on, needs to change, because the design of internet in its current form is political. Right? Who does it benefit today? It benefits the Googles and the Microsofts. The Googles and the Microsofts are not who are going to live in the village trying to access old age pension. Right? So while that technology has been designed and is available, it may need to change. It may need to change its form completely, or you need some tweaks in the way it is being done to be able to appeal to a different kind of users. Yeah, and this awareness is something that is important from what I understand. Right? The awareness that technologies are political, they cannot be neutral, and therefore, given that they are political, yeah, and given that they are, because of this political nature, they also have an agency. They will lead you to do things in a particular way. Right? You need to be, if you want to put it to certain use, you need to be aware of what kind of politics it embodies and then incorporate that in the design process to be able to put it to a particular use or to be able to do certain things with that technology.
Is it politically the right word? Because it's a typical principle agent problem. So you have a principle, in this case, a technology agent problem. So there is a conflict between the nature of the technology and there is an agency, right? So is it necessary to use the word for political? Is it really political or is it just a conflict?
So what is political?
No. I didn't get that.
Political is conflict.
Okay, the simple word conflict itself is political.
So what is the essence of being political? The essence is you're including someone, you're excluding someone. That could lead to conflict.
Okay, political is a way of,
So political, so as Vidisha used yesterday, the way I use political is including and excluding. Yeah. So when you can include everyone, then you are more or less neutral. So that's the extreme. Yeah. When you cannot, then you are political. So you include a particular group of people, you privilege a particular group of people over others.
The usage of the term political in so far discussion is the notion is that we are excluding some and including some. That's it.
Yes.
And that may be the outcome, but was the motive also political or?
I would feel so. I would not agree too much. While I agree that there are unintended consequences, I would not give a lot of benefit of doubt to the designers who are not aware of what they are doing.
Because in the current scenario, the technology is mostly business man. And a business person will leave aside all his political humanity. And his only aim is to make profit. So when he invests in the R&D before going for the implementation, his only one thing that is on his mind is how much should I invest and how much will I get back.
These are not political.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That the outcome might be political, but the motive
Is political to make more profits, to benefit the shareholders over the consumers or over the environment. Yeah? If the motive is of the way most of the businesses are today laid out, yeah, limited liability corporations, and if the prime motive is maximizing the wealth of the shareholders, you are privileging the shareholders over all the other. Yeah, so even if your consumers are worse off, but your shareholders are better off, you are doing what you want. So what are you doing? You're including you're privileging your shareholders over your consumers, over your suppliers, maybe over your employees. So that's political.
from that point of view, business is completely political.
Yes, why not?
If I'm making knives, do I have a political statement? Like, am I making a political statement by
Yes, maybe. Depending on what features you are packing into that knife.
isn't it, isn't it stretching it too much to say that I'm anti people without hands just because my knives and hands?
Whether you are anti those people, I don't know, but I can definitely say that you want to privilege people who have hands over people who don't have hands.
No, I just want to make a tool that is useful to most people. That doesn't mean
So you have to be specific about the most of the community. You cannot say, I want to develop a technology that will be useful for most of the people. Because when we do that, we design the technologies, we design it the way we did yesterday. Yeah? Not during your discussion, but all the examples that were laid out. Yeah? So we designed the Wi-Fi system to be usable by most of the community to exclude women. So you'll have to say we want to design it for men. Yeah. Then at least you are transparent in terms of your motive. You cannot hide behind, yeah, so behind this comfort factor of I am trying to design for most of the people. I don't have any negative motives in mind. I don't want to do all that. Yeah, you cannot afford to do that because we have been doing that all this while, and we are ending up with Wi-Fi systems which don't allow the women to participate.